Hey, credit builders, how are you guys doing? Everyone outside of credit builders, welcome. This is for everyone, especially for the credit builders group on Facebook, the credit builders group on Facebook. And you could also find me on Instagram, Credit Builders Consulting. So search Facebook, Credit Builders will pop up. Credit Builders build a better life. Join the group. Happy to help you out, provide you advice, assistance, etc. So let's get into this little slideshow that I did. I get a lot of people asking me as far as trade lines, what are they? How can we use them? How can I apply them to improve my credit score? Are seasoned trade lines real? Do they even work? So hopefully this clears this up and kind of gives you guys a better perspective and insight. So knowledge is power, guys. I want you guys to be properly informed. So with that being said, the question of the day is, what is a trade line? That answer would be a trade line is simply explained. A trade line is a record of payment. A record of payment. So let me give you some examples of what that could possibly be. So examples of trade lines, you're looking at your auto loans. That's a trade line. Your home mortgage, for all the homeowners out there, that's a trade line. Your credit card payments, your credit card account rather, that's a trade line. Financing on like furniture, tires, retail stores. A lot of times people don't realize that, when they go into these little shops and they get a little financing, that actually does report to your credit. So that is a trade line. And the new addition to the trade line world has been rental history. Now, which hasn't always been the case, is a very new thing, which is doing great. You could actually add your rental history to your credit report. So every month you're paying rent, now you can actually get some credit for it as it reports to your credit report. So essentially, we're looking at anything that reports your payment history. That is a trade line. So now that we understand what a trade line is, what is a seasoned trade line? A seasoned trade line is going to be a trade line that has a long record of payment, typically at least 2 years. So that's what we consider a seasoned trade line. It's just an aged trade line, something that has at least 2 years. So typically, people who have longer trade lines, they have a better or more of an opportunity to have a better credit score and report. That's not necessarily always the case because, again, people could default on loans that they had for 10 years or default on or have late payments, but it gives them a really good opportunity to have a strong credit report and a good credit score. Moving on. So if you look at the pie chart for credit, I could really make an argument and say everything that you see on your credit as far as a score is concerned is relation to management of trade lines. The exception to that would be maybe public records or maybe collections. But if you look at everything else, payment history, clearly that's a reflection of how many or how long you've had a trade line in place. Are your trade lines 5 years old? Are they 5 months old? So clearly you can see that. If you look at something like new credit, obviously if you just applied for a new trade line, that's going to tell you exactly, or that's going to have a 10% factor into your overall credit score. If you look at amounts owed, that's 30% of your credit. So if you look at your credit utilization on your trade line, on a credit card, how much you owe versus how much is available. If you just purchase a brand new car that's $50,000, these things are matters of detail on your trade lines. So don't try to get too complicated with it. All it is the things that you do every single day, which is a name for it. So that again, that car payment, it is a trade line, but it's just still your car payment. That credit card, it is a trade line. How we consider it or how we look at it or call it in the credit world or the finance world, but it's still just your credit card, just things that report to your credit. So I could take a look at your credit report, not even knowing what your score is, and I could take a really good guess at what your score would be and what type of things you'll most likely be able to qualify for just by looking at your trade line. So your trade lines tells a lot about what type of credit worthiness that you'll possibly have or you could possibly qualify for. So the key is building a great looking credit report with proper trade line management. Moving on from that, so now that we know what a trade line is, we know how important trade lines are. Some of us may say, hey, I fixed my credit. Now that my credit is nice and squeaky clean, I don't have trade lines. I don't have history on my credit. So now my credit, I was a 490, now I'm a 605. How can I get to a 705, a 750? Well, there's a traditional way of things, and then there's a little bit more of an advanced way of things. So in the past, you guys probably heard these things before. Get a secure credit card, pay on it for 2 years, yada yada. Those things still work. Slow and steady always works. But again, it is slow and steady. So if you're looking to do something in the distant future, in a year and a half, 2 years, get yourself a secured credit card. That's fine. Get yourself a credit builder loan. That's fine. Those things still work and that's perfectly fine. But for the many people of us that want that high limit credit card in a month or two, that want to qualify for a good auto loan with a better interest rate, who's looking to make a home purchase, most likely you're going to have to do something more aggressive. So that's why the seasoned trade lines are so important because it's going to get you from that 605 to the 680s to the 720s with proper strategy and management involved in place. So one of the trade lines that I recommend is rent reporters. Rent reporters, they will report up to 2 years of your payment history to the credit bureaus. Well, the credit bureau, because they only report the TransUnion. So if you're in a situation where you want to get a credit card, for instance, let's say Barclays. Barclays, they use TransUnion a lot in a lot of different regions. Well, if you cleaned your credit and then you added rent reporters and then you went to Barclays Bank, there's a very good chance that you'll have higher chances at getting approved. And when you are approved, higher chances of getting more favorable rates and favorable limits. So all of these things are still contingent on the bank making their final lending decision. I'm not a lender. I don't work for the banks. I don't have any inside information with the banks. I have the public information and experience. So, and I'm sharing that with you guys. Another way to add trade lines. Oh, and with the rent reporters, they do have a discount code BA543. So if you do sign up with rent reporters, use the discount code BA53. They'll take $10 off your order. And they are a good company to work with. I like the people a lot. I'm in communication with their management all the time, and they're pretty solid. Their customer service is really important to them, so I could definitely recommend them. Moving on from that, if you're looking for something even more powerful and more aggressive, then you would want to consider a authorized user trade line. So I know I'm introducing some new language here, but all that is when you ask a person to add you as an authorized user to their credit card. That's all that it is. So if your mom had a credit card, your dad, your aunt, your uncle, brother, sister, and they had this credit card for at least 2 years, preferably longer. I like to get them for 5, 6, 7, 10 years, but at least 2 years, and they've never missed a payment. They have ideally a decent credit limit. I typically won't do anything less than $5,000, but when my clients do ask me for them, I get them somewhere between 15 and 20K, but at least a 5K limit. You say, hey, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, dad, mom, could you add me as an authorized user to your credit card? So what that means, the bank is going to issue them a credit card with your name on it. So they don't need to give you the credit card. You don't need to have access to the credit card. You don't need to spend money on the credit card. Your less than perfect credit won't affect their perfect credit or excellent credit. So your credit won't transfer to them, but the opposite actually happens. So that 2 years of perfect payment history, 5 years, 10 years, or whatever it is, perfect payment history, now becomes your history. It's placed on your credit. So if you're in a situation where you get your credit clean, now your credit is spick and span, and then you add some good trade lines, you're going to see a significant point increase. And if you're wise or savvy, you can now take that point increase and, hey, now that I have my scores at a 680, a 720, a 750, let me go ahead and apply for some credit cards on my own. So now if my mom or my dad says, you know what, I'm going to take you off my credit card, you already have accomplished your goal in having your own credit cards at limits that you previously would not have been approved for and at rates that previously you would not have been approved for. So essentially what we call this, in the old days, is called piggybacking. All you're doing is piggybacking off of someone else's credit to boost your credit. Again, their history becoming your history. And then when that is accomplished, leveraging that to get your own credit assets, whether it's credit cards, whether it's vehicles, whether it's some other type of loans, personal loans or home loans. And again, if you're looking to apply and for a home or a car or whatever, I'll be more than happy to give you my network of people that are outstanding professionals, and we'll give you the very, very, very best information and guidance and tools possible so you can make the best informed decision available for yourself. So, and then alternatively, if you don't have anyone in your family you can lean on, that you can count on to give you those type of permissions on a credit card where they can add you to their own credit card. A lot of people come from families with bad credit. Credit wasn't taught to them, so they don't have a mother, aunt, brother they can go to. We have solutions for that as well. For a cost, a fee, you could actually purchase that and get it added to your credit. And I'm going to help you understand the process of that, of why that might make sense for you and why it might not. So these are just some of the results that I've done, and I'm working on getting some video testimonials. I've done little testimonials where I tag people and stuff like that, and that's cool, but I kind of want to make it feel a little bit more real. So I'm working with some people to try to get some video testimonials, and people are really, shy, some people, but I got a few people that has committed. So hopefully I'll give you guys some video testimonials real soon. But I had one client that I reported for that had a 78-point increase on their TransUnion credit score. I did some authorized users for a few other of my clients, Rachel and Marcus, and they've seen incredible results, 82 points here, 124 points there. And these are pretty quick. I mean, written reports takes 2 to 3 weeks, typically. The authorized users, they typically take about 1 to 2 weeks. So for a lot of people that are in the repair enhancement process of their credit, where they're working on their credit, I like these accounts because it gives them that instant gratification. Where with a credit repair, so it can sometimes take a little bit of time because we have to actually, prepare letters, wait for responses, yada yada. But with the trade lines, the seasoned trade lines, what's so cool about that is that when I add it to my client's credit profile, and they get a 30-point increase real quick, a 50-point increase real quick, they call me back and they're like, "Oh man, this happened. I'm so happy." and they're excited. So now they're a little bit more patient and a little bit more comfortable waiting on some other things. So I'm a big fan of them whenever I can offer them. But again, it all comes down to your personal goals and timelines. And sometimes I make the mistake of assuming everybody wants high limit credit cards and everybody wants this. So I try to, discipline myself and just try to make sure I'm listening to my client as much as possible so that I don't make those assumptions. But if you're wanting to, let's say, buy a house in 2 years, then you may not need an authorized user. I mean, I wouldn't go out my way for it. Getting a secure credit card will probably work out fine for you. And then maybe do rent reporters, and that's it. And then just relax. You don't need to do anything too major. But if you're looking to get like a credit card, like a high limit credit card, like in the next month or less, or something along those lines, then getting an authorized user may work for you. So it just kind of depends. Like, what is your motive? What is your ambitions? If you're trying to get some things accomplished really quickly, or you're trying to get some things accomplished later down the line, and you're just, well thought out, well planned. You're just trying to get some small things in motion. So I work with a lot of different business owners and entrepreneurs, and so I'm very, very comfortable and familiar with these products. And when they contact me, they have more money than they have time. So they're not interested in waiting forever for things to go into effect. So I utilize and leverage these trade line strategies to help them get where they're going. So it all comes back down to you though. So there's plenty options. The slow and steady pace would be credit builder accounts, secure credit cards. You give yourself a year and a half, 2 years doing that stuff, man, you'll see great increases. And if you, manage your balances, don't have any late payments, stuff like that, you'll see great improvements, no doubt. But if you're looking for something, a shot in the arm, something to kind of jump you real quick or a little bit of a boost, then I couldn't recommend anything better than getting some authorized user trade lines. So again, I'll be more than happy to answer any more questions. I hope this clears up everything for you. With the rent porters, they do have that discount code BA543. If you are interested, check that out. If you need some more information, you can reach me, Credit Builders Consulting on Instagram, Credit Builders on Facebook. Join the group. Tons of awesome people with lots of information that's willing to share. I can't speak highly enough for my group. I mean, everybody there is amazing. And yeah, let's make sure that we make this year the best year, help you accomplish your goals, and get you where you want to be. So I'm out, guys. This has been great, and to the next time.